Hello everyone, this is Zook, and today I'm doing the Dark Eldar Talos Pain Engine. According to Lexicanum, this creature is a creation of the homunculi, or homunculi, from the Dark Eldar. They are semi-sentient, part organic and part mechanical monsters that slowly drift along on anti-gravitic motors. Their armament consists of a variety of unholy weapons, horrible surgical tools, and a metallic shell that makes it all but impervious to enemy fire. Anyone unfortunate enough to be caught by a Talos will be rapidly dissected by an array of manipulators, scalpel-keen claws, and surgically sharp tools. As the Talos gruesomely flays its victims layer by layer, it feeds and draws every removed part into itself, invigorating itself with even greater power, as well as at the same time putting on an amusing display of torture for its owner. So basically, it's a mobile torture chamber, which is cool, in my opinion. I had no idea what it was when I started drawing it. I just found this out like a couple of minutes ago, so it's new info for me as well. But it definitely seems like a nice guy, someone you would want to hang out with. I got my materials, my drawing utensils from the US. I'm using a Prismacolor pencil here and the Bien Fang marker paper. They work very well in unison, just as I had heard before. The paper is sort of like a very smooth canvas texture. If you've ever painted in watercolor on canvas, you know what it feels like. Paper is sort of the same way, and it's about as thick as a sheet of newspaper. So it's not very thick, but it's good. There's no see-through or anything. And as for the pencil, one bad experience I had with it was the tip broke like 4 times while sharpening it, so I basically lost half a pencil from the first go. As you can see, it's pretty short there. I just started drawing with it like 1 hour ago. Should be about 1 hour now, and I'm almost halfway through it. So the only disadvantage I see to these pencils is that they run out really quick. I have to sharpen them every 5 minutes, literally, because they're just so soft. They're not made of graphite like normal pencils. It's sort of a waxy charcoal sort of substance. It sort of looks like plastic, and it's very fragile. It breaks very easily. So you can't apply too much pressure to it, but the effects it produces are definitely worth the hassle. Like the gradients are impeccable, and the shading and details and everything, they're just top notch. So definitely a good investment so far, from what I can tell. It has a certain feel to it compared to graphite pencils. It's not something that you would just pick up and do straight away. It takes a while getting used to. But overall, I think these will be the pencils that I'll be using from now on, because you don't need various hardness or anything really. You just need just one single pencil, and that's it. You can get any shade you want, any gradient, any value or hue or anything. Not hue because it's all gray, but value. So I think it's worth it. And as for the electric eraser, it's definitely very useful. Like all the miniature highlights and everything, you could just go in there with a sharp tip on the eraser and just erase tiny little points of white. So it's not something that you can achieve manually, which is again very useful for the types of drawings I do, with a lot of like small highlights and intricate details. So I think it was worth it. It's $100 well spent. As for the other stuff that I got, there's a video on my channel where I unpack the actual box and talk about all the stuff, if you want to check that one out. Now as for this guy, he's not extremely detailed, but the drawing took about 4 hours, just because I wasn't used to drawing with these new pencils. Like gradients took ages to make, because I just wasn't so sure of myself to, like, I didn't press hard enough from the first go, and then I had to just go over and over and over until I got the right value there. So that took quite a while, but in time, when I get used to them, it'll get better and drawings will go faster. Right now it's like 4 a.m. That's I usually go to bed at 12, so I've spent quite a while on this drawing. Like I came home, I did my video with unpacking it, and then I started drawing, and right now I'm editing. So that's basically what I've done today, with 4 hours of sleep. So yeah, not a lot of details, as I said, on this guy. It just has the most complicated parts would be its hands and a little bit of its body. The top plates are just round plates, nothing special at all, regular gradients. And as for the other details, there's just a couple of chains which are really simple to draw. I'm gonna cover those in my next how-to video. Some guy asked for rocks, some guy asked for I don't know what he wanted, leather or something, and chains are also something that people have issues with, because there's a certain kind of method to drawing chains that makes it much easier than what you might think is the right way. I'm just doing gradients now, trying to figure where the highlight would be on the round glove, because the light of course is coming from the top left. So I just decided to shade everything and then go in with an eraser and get the highlight from that, and just do like the really bright spots with the electric one. It works very well for that. And the paper is absolutely brilliant as well. It's really something special. Like here in Romania, we don't really have these brands like Prismacolor and Bienfang and Stedler, a lot of it at least. So, you know, some guys made fun of me in my video saying like, you know, lol, we use these every day. You know, it's like Christmas for you. It is. It really is, because people in this country don't really care about, you know, specialty tools. Like, I've read a lot about. I'm really passionate about tools and toys, and, you know, having the right tools for the job. So I'm pretty well informed on what's good and what's not, and people here don't seem to care much. You know, they just say, okay, you just use a number 2 pencil for everything. But it doesn't really work like that, because there are just some things that you can't really get with your regular store pencil. Now, for example, gradients like this are a pain in the ass to achieve, and you'll always get the glare, and you'll always get the problems that come with it, and the smudging and the pencil shading. For example, here there's no smudging at all with this pencil. You know, I don't really even have to use a napkin, because it's not like graphite. It doesn't attach to everything that comes within proximity, because it's not graphite. So, you know, it's just small things to think about that make your job or hobby easier. And having tools like this that are made by intelligent companies that know what artists want is important. Which is why I was even considering like opening a store with import drawing tools, just because there are no stores here that sell them. You know, I had to buy them from Amazon, send them to a friend in the US. That friend had to repack them, send them through mail. They rejected the package. Then she had to resend them again. The whole thing took about a month. So it took a month for me to get 12 pencils and 2 goddamn notebooks, which is absolutely ridiculous. And of course Amazon does not export to these shit countries like Romania and Bulgaria and whatever. So it's just a lot of hassle. And for people like me that just want to have good tools to play with, it's almost impossible if you don't have someone in the US or a more evolved country, at least Britain, to send them over. Even though Amazon UK doesn't really sell the same things as Amazon.com, because these companies are originated in the US, so they kind of stick to their own thing. They don't really care about Eastern Europe and whatnot. But a lot of students, that like architecture students and graphic design students, drawing students, they look for these things. There are like hundreds of forum topics like, where can I get this type of pencil? And most of the answers are nowhere, because nobody sells them. So yeah, for me it was Christmas, because I got what I wanted, and it was nice, and I loved them. You know, I don't take them for granted just because I've never had them. So that's about it. Just working on the tail now. I didn't have a method for it. I just drew a bunch of lines and tried to fill in the blanks in between them to make them look three-dimensional. Tail has a couple of sticky things, cannons, whatever the hell they are. And I've been ranting so long, I haven't actually been talking about the drawing much. The reason for that is that there's really not much to say. This was sort of a test run for me, just to see like how these tools actually behave in a real situation. And they pass with flying colors, I think. It turned out really nicely. So I hope you enjoyed the video and found it somewhat useful. And I'll see you next time. Bye.